Namaste, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to Namaste Today in the Zodiac Weather. My name is Stepº0 Witecki. I am the sensei to Sirius joy, here to stand in my heart and walk in the light. It is such a pleasure to light walk by your side today. I am love casting live in 5 dimensions in the beautiful gingerbread temple of Gaia on Monday, December 22nd, 2014. And over the weekend, my friend, we transitioned into a new state of awareness, Capricorn, and today we are in step 0. Step 0 is my hero. You'll hear me say it every month. That's because it's the most magical step. And it is the hidden step, the secret step, the step we always forget. And that's really because it's God's step, the creation of, right? Step 0 is I protect, creating the space for creation, right? The step before the step. And this is a step we always have to keep in mind in every step we take to protect ourselves and to take the time and space for ourselves. But this year, I argue we're going to take new time and new space. In fact, I argue that 2015 is the beginning of the re-evolution. And now as we take space, it's really not for anything we have had, but something we do want. But before we talk about that in the Sensei Sunrise, let's first tame our brain, shall we? With the phrase of the day. I am grateful for my life and hereby protect it. And so it is. That's really as simple as it gets. Being grateful, opening up. I am grateful for my life and hereby protect it. All of it. There's nothing to exclude. And so it is because I said so, I thought so. We want to just set up and protect everything we love, and our life particularly. I don't think we always take the time to protect our entire life, so today is a good day to start that way. I am grateful for my life, and hereby protect it. And so it is, I felt so. Today the serious step of the day is step 0, and step 0 is I protect. So it's the invisible step, the step before all steps. It's the no man's land, the twilight zone between two states of awareness. 0 is the space between two somethings, always. And if you look into or out into outer space, you'll notice it's mostly step 0 out there. Lots of 0 energy, lots of antimatter, if you want to call it step 0. So step 0 is very important, and today we are creating space for new rules. That's what Capricorn is. Capricorn is the sum of our decision making, and as we make decisions, we end up sculpting how we control things. So Capricorn is really about control. It's about sculpting. It's about being able to suffer the consequences of cause and effect with clarity. Because we made a decision, it was clear, and that sucked. So Capricorn brings a lot of crispness to the world, and Capricorn is, of course, our future making. So here in North America, we do our future making in January and December, or in the winter months. But in the Southern Hemisphere, they also do their future making in January and December, but it is the summer months. So it's interesting how different parts of the species operate, where the Northern Hemisphere is deciding in the cold weather, and the Southern Hemisphere is deciding in the warm weather. Maybe that's why they have more fun down there. Seems like they do, but maybe it's always grass greener on the other side. So let's take a look and see how today's Capricorn control energy is affecting our chakras.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
First of all, it's important to note that step 8, I decide Capricorn, is actually the back of the third eye. We just spent an entire month working on our vision, what we believe in, our belief structure, also known as Sagittarius or the third eye. Now we actually update the back of the eye when we close things off, when we call it over. And this is all about perception of consciousness. We're all conscious. We all have a perception of over. Okay? So in this part of the year, we are mostly actually consciously deciding what's over. A decision is an incision in consciousness. You're actually cutting away what you don't want to support with light and facing towards what you do want to support with light. So step 8 and Scorpio go hand in hand. Decisions and boundaries go hand in hand. In fact, we decide where the boundary is. So Scorpio and Capricorn actually are good friends. And step 0, if you don't know, actually emulates in 2 chakras, the back of the throat and also the back of the second chakra. So we end things, and today we really are ending and beginning things. But before we dive into what that might be, let's look at the planet soup. What does God have cooking up there in the stars today? That's my question. Well, the sun is at Stepº0 Capricorn, so we're beginning now this transit. Space-time, Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. We know all of this, but right now Pluto is in Capricorn, and so the entire human race is evolving Capricorn thanks to the planet of Pluto. This began in 2009 and will end in 2024 for good. So we are experiencing something that is under construction. Every time we go to sun in Capricorn, this whole consciousness is under construction. Not only are we trying to improve our lives and the part of the consciousness that this represents, but the consciousness itself is under construction. So we're going to talk about what that means and where we might be going. But the sun at 0 degrees means let's create some space for our future decisions and our ability to control. Now there is a Christmas party going on in Capricorn. The sun is at Step0. Mercury, our thoughts, at Step 8. The moon has come off of the sun over the weekend. We had solstice, the winter solstice, on Sunday, or Lycast Day, the new moon. In fact, things are speeding up now after they reach the fastest or slowest point of the year, really, or the shortest day is what I'm trying to say, is when we have winter solstice. But literally, we're only in the 0 degree of Capricorn, the shortest of the year. The sun, the earth is actually speeding up. Frankly, it's an interesting thing as it whips around the corner. So we're only in Step 0 and we're off to Step 1 by tonight. In fact, for the rest of next few weeks, we will experience 2 degrees in a day or 2 steps in a day as we're in the northern hemisphere here. And actually in the southern hemisphere they are too. But the difference is that we experience 2 degrees in a day. So this morning, the first half is Step 0. The second half today will be Step 1. What does that mean? Well, it means it feels like a longer day because we go through 2 psychological steps in a given day. So in the northern hemisphere, the winter days seem longer as far as our conscious shifting is concerned, even though the sunlight is shorter. And in the southern hemisphere, right, while they're having summer, they go through 2 dramatic steps during the day in the summer. It converses. In the summertime, it actually is 1 step per day for us in the northern hemisphere and 1 step per day for them in the southern hemisphere, but that 1 step is our summer. So we have 1 step drawn out over the day in the summer, versus the winter right now we have 2 steps, right? So you can kind of interpret any way you feel. It may feel like, oh my God, I've been through a lot today, it's been a long day, or it may, because things keep moving, seem like it's a short day. It's all in how you interpret, and that's what consciousness is. But today we are at Step 0, but all these planets are ahead of us, moving ahead, charging ahead, and today that means our emotions, our ability to die and be reborn, that's Pluto, our ability to create is on the fore edge of this. This is the sweeping motion of us wanting to make new decisions, taking new control over our life and being able to push into the future. So even though we're at the beginning, as you can see, much of us is way ahead. Now Mercury himself is at Step 8, so we're actually deciding today, Mercury deciding Step 8, we are deciding on the first day already where we want to cut away. Typical Capricorn energy, right? 8 steps ahead and already cutting things before they take over the corporation. The moon is also in Capricorn, still in Capricorn from the winter solstice over Sunday. But now this means in the midsections here, we kind of have spasm emotions. And what I mean by spasm emotions is, well, the moon is in its detriment when it's in Capricorn. It's opposite of Cancer. And so it tends to be on and off with our emotions. Like we allow ourselves to feel, then we don't, then we allow ourselves, kind of like emotional Morse code. It's not very fluid. So expect that today. You might have some experiences that way. White Lilith is now at Step 6 Scorpio, which means it's now time to heal the opening and flowing of things. And I'm putting this out there because we're going to be talking about control consciousness this week. And it's now time to open up and let your giving and receiving flow, particularly in realms of your life where you've already thought through all of the boundaries. Now Saturn is moving into Sagittarius right now. It is at step 0 Sagittarius, and it is trining Neptune direct. That means that we are powerfully moving ahead into the next story, so to speak. I believe we'll start to really feel Saturn and Sagittarius on Christmas Day, and I'll be reporting on what that exactly means for you. But in essence, it means the new party has begun. And speaking of kitty cats, man, Black Lilith is at step 2 Virgo, which unfortunately means that we're having to face a lot of emotional fears. And emotional fears seem larger than they are. I've been doing a lot of readings here in the last week or two, and boy, my clients, you guys really have been feeling really heavy emotion. I think this is just Black Lilith, and you have to see, is there any evidence here of this fear? If you don't see any evidence, it's false evidence appearing real. And so you just dismiss it and wait for a shift to happen. All right? So let's now move on to today's Gingerbread Sensei Sunrise. Can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man. Stepº0 Capricorn is our step of the day, the serious step of the day, and we have a new conscious ladder I want to point out. I call these towers of truth, by the way, TOTs, just stuff to kind of like figure out what I call my own stuff. But these are the 3 sections of consciousness. Remember Father, Son, Holy Spirit? Well, in the Capricorn, the decision is all about the protection. So decision making is where we protect. Execution of that decision is where we love, and our legacy is us turning back and sculpting what we have become. So this is the consciousness of Capricorn, the consciousness of control. It starts with decisions, it moves into acting on those decisions, and then it moves into honoring the legacy. We'll talk more about what the top consciousness is at the end. That's the master consciousness. So the sun is way at the bottom at step 0 and will creep up to step 1 in the second half of the day. Now, step 0 is in the sacred geometry of consciousness, if you don't know. The story of creation goes like this. Creator decided to create the universe to reflect and see himself and the holy greatness of what he is or what she is. He, she uses both, I think. And so in that capacity, as we were going to create, if you want to call it the Big Bang, whatever you want to call it, but creation was the exploration of going in each direction, X, Y, and Z, into infinite properties. Whew. So from that perspective, we draw a 0 to claim space, right, of that X, Y, and Z, and that is the power of 0, the power of creation. The first, I protect. Protection is claiming space, claiming 3D space, X, Y, and Z. And it becomes our 3D space, the sphere of consciousness. In fact, consciousness is actually a sphere, if you think about it, 3D space. So we today, my friends, are creating space for us to be able to make decisions and control our life. And because it's Capricorn, it deals with control. This may be literally space, that we're creating space for our kids, our nephews, our family to come over for the weekend, creating space for us to be able to write, that new screenplay in the spring. But we're creating space today, and we're creating space to make important decisions in our lives. Now, this week, I'm going to do a special treat. Remember, we had a little one, the What If series last week. Well, this week, I'm going to do a series about control. In fact, we're going to talk about the 11 different types of control traps that people can fall into. 1 trap per day, starting with the 0 trap today. All that and more after this.
Having a hard time with love lasting long enough? How often is your first date your last date? Have you noticed that your relationships last no more than 2 days? They say love never lasts, but in your case, it doesn't even start. Your birthday is a secret soul security number. We know everything about you, how you love, how you lust, and how you like to be lusted by. In one video, you'll understand what you're looking for in love and what you offer. Secrets of Birthdays, now available at secretsofbirthdays.com.
And here we are at the Somar.me trading post. The Megascope Monthly Report is just $9.99 and will go into detail about how you will be on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day, and tell you how to start off the year with the right vows. Check it out at soulmart.me. And if you're curious what these look like or what these might entail, come on down to soulgarden.tv. I have an Astro Extra blog where I give free samples of the Megascope Monthlies for December so you can see for yourself that they're well worth the investment. And if you'd like a little detailed investment on you in love, the Secrets of Birthdays Love and Lust Report is a perfect digital gift, just $19.95, and all we need is their date of birth. Check it out at secretsofbirthdays.com. And still, for a limited time, you can get a 1-hour reading with me and a free 30-minute follow-up for just $99.99. Available at soulgarden.tv or soulmart.tv. Come to either. This is an excellent way, folks, to really dive into what's going on with you. And I am so grateful to meet some people in the last couple of weeks, some brand new clients. So it's going to be a fantastic year, and I am confirming that most of us are on to new adventures. So for more information and a video about how it all works, come on down to soulmart.me. If you want to start with something a little lighter, you can get a 15-minute step reading. Now, I talk about the natural-born steps each day in the show. We're at step 0 today. Some people are natural-born step zeros. You can find out your natural-born step and which steps not to skip when you're trying to manifest. Come check that out at soulmart.me. So let's take a look at the new featured series I have this week. I'm going to do an 11-day series about control issues, and I call it the 11 Control Traps. These are the traps that human beings find themselves falling into, and I believe that each step has a particular control trap. This comes from me doing tons and tons of readings of Capricorns. I have a solar eclipse of Capricorn, so I really end up reading a lot of Capricorns. I've been seeing the Capricorns from the Pluto beginning and so far to where it is at step 12. And I've really started to see that indeed natural-born step zeros, natural-born step ones sometimes fall in these control traps. Well, today is the natural-born step 0 control trap, control for the sake of control. Now, many people fall into control for the sake of control. It's because in the Capricorn consciousness, they skip step 0. They don't take the time and space to protect their decisions. So when a person doesn't protect their decisions, right, and that means take the time and space for decisions, they tend to control for control's sake. They say yes or no just so they can use their control. You can over-control. Sometimes these people are control freaks. Sometimes these people get into weird domination stuff sexually, like a little too much control, And it's all because they did not take the conscious step to protect their decisions. You might go, well, what does that mean, protect your decisions? Well, first of all, protection, step 0, is time and space. Just like Pluto orbits and creates time and space for us, right? We want to create the space for our soul's system to operate in. So to protect a decision, creating space might be like, Mommy, Daddy, can I go out tonight? It's like, I'll decide later. Saying you'll decide later, you just protected it. You just created the space, right? Now we're not controlling for control's sake. Now we're actually feeling better about it, right? Because we gave ourselves the time and space to make the decision. Another way to protect your decisions is if somebody is a person that's going to argue with you about your decision, a way to protect it is you don't have to discuss it with that person. I'm going to protect my decision. All right? So this is one of those people, it's like, they're like, well, why'd you do that? Because, you over freak out on them. Why? You just controlled the conversation for control's sake. Why did we control the conversation for control's sake? We didn't protect our power to make decisions. We have to set up the time and space. That's time for us to reflect. That's space in the sense of get out of my way, don't want to feel any vibration. And sometimes it's the right to decide again. It's to say, this is my preliminary decision, but if something's not going to go right or I don't like the way it goes, I'm going to reverse my decision. That's another way of protecting your right to make decisions and not falling into emotional traps where you end up controlling for control's sake. So, control trap 0. Today, have you created the time and space for you to be in charge? If you are the engineer of your little choo-choo train, I'm thinking of a Christmas train now, Have you taken the time to think about your engineering? The time to make the important decisions? Or do you rush the decisions? Do you not have the time and space for those important decisions in your life? Because if you don't make that, you might end up controlling for control's sakes. But before you control for control's sake, let's take a look at the moods of each of your brothers and sisters today. And today we're going to be looking at where we are controlling, where we are being pointed to become aware to control, where we are learning control, I guess is what I should have said. Scorpios, cloudy and pensive today. You are learning control through thoughts, ideas, and attitudes for the next 30 days. So be mindful of your thoughts, El Scorpio. Step 1, the Leos, cloudy and hyper-aware today. You are learning control through health, diet, lifestyle, and your overall work life. So, Leo's got to choose the right work life to be in control of their life. Step 2's the Cancers. Cloudy, chance of imbalance today. But you have got to be learning control through your marriage, your marriages, and your unions. So yeah, that's how Cancers make their decisions, by the people they sign up with. Step 3's the Sagittariuses. Learning control through self-confidence, money, and values today, as you are cloudy but productive nonetheless. And that's how Sagittarius control. They control through money. They are the most typical that way, and I have to say, the most generous Christmas gift givers. Step 4 is the Aquariuses, cloudy and spiritual today, but you are learning control through inner faith and spirituality. Step 5, the Geminis, cloudy and private, probably a little withdrawn today from the world, but you are learning control through self-trust, intimacy, and your ability to transform successfully. Step 6, the Librans, cloudy, nesting, and resting at home today most likely, but you are learning how to control through emotions, home, and family. So literally, Librans try to stay in control of their life by controlling their emotions. Right? And a lot of times that's when Libras go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Have you ever seen one? It's because they're holding down those emotions. Step 7, the Pisces, cloudy and social today with the moon in Capricorn. But you are learning control through who you belong with, who you friendship with, and what your reputation is. Step 8, happy birthday Capricorns, cloudy but cool with the moon in their sign. You are learning control through ego, willpower, and character. You are control, baby. Step 9, the air eye, cloudy and professional today. You are learning control in the classic way, decisions, career, and legacy. Arises are the purebred humans, so they always line right up with the stars. And the Tauruses, cloudy and learning today, aiming for life purpose, but you are learning control through beliefs, your knowledge, and your life purpose. So, unfortunately, if we know it all, then we don't have control of it all. Moo moo, moo 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 moo. Step 11's the Virgos. Cloudy and creative today, perhaps even childlike and fun, depending on which way they want it round. But you are learning control through the inner child, through creativity and dreams. So you literally are the most controlling of your heart and must liberate. That's what you're working on. Alright, so let's look at the Lightwalker Parade. What do we have after this video to help you today on your day? Well, for starters, Venus Prime Health. If you haven't checked this out, I'm bringing back one of our old little web miniseries I did with Damon because it's New Year's and everybody wants to lose weight, right? Well, these are the 10 healthy weight loss supplements that you should know about, starting with raspberry ketones, number 10. So check out how raspberry ketones can help you lose weight organically and naturally, and that follows this video on the Lightwalker Parade on YouTube and on the Mothership. If you're on YouTube, we ask please be kind and do subscribe. It helps with our YouTube subscriptions. And on Facebook, you can be our friend by going to soulgarden.me. And if you'd like to join our email list, I'll email out a little token every night about 4 a.m. Just come to soulmart.me and click on join our email list. But here we are as we're wrapping up our 8th year, going on our 9th year here on the planet of doing light work. Very excited about that because I'm a Step 9 Taurus, so it's the 9th year, Step 9 Taurus. The kindest thing you can do, and I am so grateful for those who have been doing this on Facebook and Twitter, is to mention this to your friends and family and spread the light and joy in your own way. We are happy to help. So that brings us to our rock and roll gospel of the day, and I'm going to kick right off with Capricorn musicians. Capricorn musicians are a taste of their own, as you're going to see here as we start the day. And I want to start with a hell of a kickoff to a Capricorn musician. Can you guess? Janis Joplin, one of my favorites. Piece of My Heart, which is, you probably can hear it in your head right now as I said, piece of my heart, right? Amazing. Did you know this cutie pie was a Step 28 master Capricorn? Step 28 is a manifester. And boy, was this girl. She was a rocket that went up and came down pretty fast. One of the things about Capricorns, they do tend to check out a little early, and they tend to go a little over the top when they go over the top. So drug overdoses and whatnot, unfortunately, a common trend with the Capricorns, losing control of things when they go with their heart. Y'all are trying to find a good balance. But hey, take a listen to this today. I will see you in 24 hours with more. Have fun. Protect your right to make decisions today. And I'll see you tomorrow with another Namaste. Until then, live, love, be my friend.
This is just so ironic.
So